I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. I hear AAU coaches, high school coaches, uncles, dads, whatever is, oh, my son's too good to play at that level. My son's too good for this. He should be doing this. He should be going here, all that stuff. He's not. Let me tell you something. Welcome back, everybody, to the hashtag Run302 podcast. Happy to have you back. This is Season 1, Episode 6, titled Fifth Year. We're just going to go ahead and address like I said, elephant in the room, elephant in the state, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call the thing everyone's talking about. But we're back with the head of school, Mr. Donald Porter. And, of course, I'm the head basketball coach and athletic director of the Cross Christian Academy.
Got so many titles, you just get
tongue-tied.
Janitor. Come on, let's keep
janitor,
on going.
right
on down the line.
Study hall aide.
Exactly.
You name it.
College prep.
Yeah, you got it. So, advisor, whatever you want to say. But, we'll just jump right into this. Obviously, before last year, this wasn't a thing that we did. It kind of like we were talking off screen, it kind of evolved into this.
Yep.
And, it's a need. It's filling a need that isn't filled by anybody else in the state. And we get a lot of blowback on it. Maybe the most blowback these last 2 years have been about the whole fifth year thing. And I say it all the time. I've said it multiple times on episodes in the podcast is people hate and to an extent just cast away things they don't understand.
Yeah.
But if you don't take the time to understand it, you're never going to.
You got to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And once again, why we did it was because of the fact that we had some things going on. I'm not going to say schools or anything else, but we had young men knocking on the door, telling us their stories, telling us their issues, and we could fix it. And thank God that it's kind of evolved to where it is now. That we have, and in the last 2 or 3 years, we can name names and young men who have gone on and gone to college because we allowed them to do it here. And you'll get more into that, I'm sure, when we look at some of the players and the reasons.
Yep.
It was a doubtful thing even for me. But as you say, and I say all the time, I want to get better. I want to play better. I want to have better competition. But it even kind of evolved out of that to where we gave a young man an opportunity that. Yep. No, I don't mean to be out of the way, but no one else was.
Yeah,
they weren't going to. They couldn't.
Absolutely. And before we dive into this, and if you listen to it, like I said, if you listen to some of the podcasts before, you would have picked up on this already. But if you're new, to fill you in, I'm one of those people. One of my favorite sayings about leadership is never ask somebody to do something you're not willing to do. Never speak on something that you haven't been through yourself. I was a fifth year. I did a fifth year when I transferred from Lake Forest in Felton, Delaware to Doane Academy in Burlington, New Jersey. At that time, the administration at Doane did not take seniors. So if you were transferring there, you had to reclass. Right. They did not take seniors. They do now, but they didn't at the time because their academic advisors was like, it's just not enough time for us to work on them, for us to imprint, the Doane Academy college admissions and all that kind of stuff. So they made you reclass if you came there as a senior. So I was a fifth year as well. And, one thing it does, there's multiple things it does, but, being a fifth year, it allows you to mature personally, emotionally, mentally, physically, on the court and off the court, in the court, on the court and in the classroom.
Right.
And, we talk about you're a high school. You see so many kids go from high school to D2 or D1, whatever. And the thing is that people don't get is a lot of those kids aren't playing their freshman year. A lot of those kids, for different reasons, get redshirted. And one of those reasons are because they're not physically ready. Because you're playing against four-year guys out there. You're 18 years old. You're playing against somebody that's 22, 23, maybe even sometimes 24, depending on what their journey was.
At, yep.
And you're not physically ready yet. So that fifth year does give you an extra year for your body to get ready, your mind to be there, your grades, whatever the situation is.
Yeah, no, it does definitely gives you that extra step and that extra time to, like you were saying, all the things you were saying go hand in hand. In order to be a great athlete and a great student, you need all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the better you get at it before you leave here to go to that new place,
yep.
The best you're going to be and the better you're going to be when you get there. That they're going to appreciate that. We're going to love that because we gave you that opportunity. But at the end, you're even going to be able to enjoy that year a lot better.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, what's going on. We've said it all the time. We want you to see it before you get there. We want to let you kind of experience that before you get there. So you don't have to give us the call and ask us the questions. We don't want those those type of questions. We want I'm having a great time, and hey, look, I might need this or might need that, but they've seen it. I mean, just they've seen it.
Yep. And some of this podcasts, some of these episodes might come off as us hating Delaware basketball or whatever. I grew up here. I grew up here. You know, I played at Lake Forest. I love it. I want to bring it to the forefront, but Delaware does seem to be behind the 8 ball in a lot of aspects when it comes to basketball, because you look at New Jersey, you look at PA, you look at Virginia. The 5-year thing is as common as
like we said
a freshman.
Week, it's normal. It
is
just
what
normal.
it is. No one even bats an eye.
And my thing is, everybody can look at it different ways, but I just look at it as opportunity.
Yeah.
We have some young men that would have never, ever had opportunity to go to college if we'd have just said, sorry, you can't do that here.
Yep.
But once again, we can. And
yep.
Why? Because we do what we do. I mean.
And you know, when we're going to get to that in a second, I wanted to keep on this pace real quick. But the other thing is, too, is one thing that does happen in Delaware is, and I've heard people specifically tell me that they reclass their kid in a middle school year.
Yeah.
So they reclass their kid in a middle school year. What's the difference? They're still doing.
It's that 4th year, man.
Yeah.
It's that 4-year eligibility.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
That's where I was going with next.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it comes into play. And we had a young man here that we could have played him as a 8th grader.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely would have been out there playing.
Yep.
But I talked to his dad and said, look, if we do that, once again, it wouldn't be good for him. It would be good if you're going to be here and know that tomorrow is going to be the same thing for the next 5 years.
Yep.
But that's not life.
It's a long way.
That's not life.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we just advised him, hey, look, the best thing would be this, this, and this. And they took that route. And I'm glad. I mean, it was the right thing. Now, is it the right thing for a long journey? I don't know. But it was at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay. At that time, it was the right thing.
Yep. And like you touched on, we'll wrap back around to it. Like you touched on, we have 3 guys on our team this year. Mm-hmm. One tore his ACL the first practice of his senior year. One tore his ACL the first half of his first game of his senior year. And the other one tore his ACL during the season. But regardless, you're going to look at if we weren't here, if we didn't do what we did with the 5th year and offer that, you're going to look at those kids that tore their ACL. Horrific event. Unlucky, whatever you want to call it. You're going to look at those kids dead in the eye and say, well, tough luck.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Your playing career's over. Your recruitment's over.
Everything you've worked for.
Go, whatever, try to walk on, whatever the case may be, that's all you got.
And from experience, that's not easy.
Nope.
At all.
Nope.
So, once again, they come in here, they knock on the door, we hear the story, and we look at them and go, okay, if we can figure this out, if you're healthy and you're released, then let's go play ball.
Yep.
And you get looked, get that phone call, and hopefully all 3 of them.
Yep.
Are,
I'll say it. I mean, they all have little things here and there they have to wrap up, whether it be a tour, a campus tour, admissions,
right.
Finishing out strong with their GPAs. A tryout with the a workout with the team that's already there. Whatever, they're all wrapping up little things here and there, but all 3 of them. All 3 of them are actually going on a college visit this month.
Right.
One of them's
They're
going
to have opportunity.
Yeah, one of them's going at the end of the month to New York, and then 2 of them are going to New Jersey a couple times this month to go meet the coach, be on campus, those kind of things. So if it wasn't for that 5th year option that we offer, those guys again, they all tore their ACL. Nothing.
No clue.
You can say whatever. And this is sad too. If it's something they do, if they're not doing it in their classroom, if they're not doing whatever, they get in trouble, they get kicked off the team, they get in trouble.
Totally different.
That's a whole different thing.
Totally
they
discussion.
did nothing to ask for their ACL to be torn. They did nothing for that injury.
Right.
It's just unlucky.
Absolutely.
It's sad.
And all we do is ask. We just want to make sure they're healthy.
Yep.
We just want to make sure you're clear, you're healthy. Let's go because we do go. Mm-hmm. Once again, we're going to go and play ball. But they all, God only knows where they'd ended up after playing ball pretty much, ever since they went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you touched on just on your conversation there, you were saying about the GP.
Yep.
Once again, that's why you're here. You're in that room. You're working with them one-on-one, doing all these different things to try to achieve that end.
Yep.
And it's the right thing to do, AJ.
Yep. Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
it's just the right thing to do. We have this discussion all the time about this, that, whatever.
Mhm.
But when I look at the 10 or 11 guys
Yep.
that have done that,
Yep.
every one of them
Yep.
have opportunity, or they're there.
Yep.
I mean, they're playing.
Absolutely.
And we've said before, we don't go looking for them.
Mm-mm.
They come knocking on our door, telling us their story.
Yeah.
And then we make that decision, and we look at that young man and say, "Hey, look, it's not your fault, man. You didn't do anything wrong." So I mean, why not go for it, and let's get healthy, and then let's get back on the court next year. So
Yeah, and the whole thing with that is too, and it all comes hand in hand. Like we talk about the things we have here, the NCAA academic advisor, we're NCAA eligible, we follow all the NCAA, stipulations and all those things. We have a kid right now that went through the portal, not through the portal, went through the clearinghouse, and was fine, good to go.
Right.
He's at Bridgeport right now,
Right.
and D2 NCAA. And the one thing we always get back is, will they be NCAA eligible with the fifth year? And that's fine. But again, you have to have those conversations. You have to have
it
those
is that
questions.
question,
If you
and
don't
that's
know,
fine. Yeah.
don't
Ask.
speak on what you don't know. Come talk
Ask.
to us and
Yeah.
everything. And like I said, as long as you're following everything to the T, and there's certain things that, like for example, I'm not going to get into all of it because NCAA is very strict. But
Right.
for example, you come here for a fifth year and you didn't have your 4 maths or your 4 sciences or something. We can't do anything with that. The NCAA regulations are you have to have your 16 core credits: math, science, history, English,
Right.
all in your first 4 years.
Right.
Then after that, we can work on your GPA. But if those core credits weren't
Can't go
taken care
back.
of, we can't help you with that.
No.
Then you would have to go JUCO for a year or two.
Right.
But again, it's all stuff, people speaking on stuff they don't know about.
No, and we say it all the time. Just same way we want you to look at us, that we look at our students. Look behind us.
Yep.
Look and see what's there laid out. That's the foundation.
Yep.
And if you see that foundation and it's working, there's nothing else more we can say. It's
Yep.
working.
Absolutely. But we'll go ahead and take a break. We're getting signaled, so we'll take a break, give you one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the #Run302 podcast. Once again, this is Season 1, Episode 6. Back with our head of school, Mr. Donald Porter. I'm Coach AJ. We're talking about the fifth year. That's the title of this one. And, right before we left, we talked about, that whole thing about 4 years of eligibility. And you actually had interesting stories. Not going to mention names and everything. We keep everything anonymous here. But interesting story about one of our guys that we've had in the past.
Yeah. We had a young man knock on our door. And tell us his story. And his story was that he was out of school and he only had his 4 years to play at that level. I guess there was some misunderstanding or some kind of misinformation that he'd already played his 4 years. And he was still only going to be a senior.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, they weren't going to let him play. And when they told him that, it was to him, what am I going to do here? I want to go to college playing ball, and now I'm not going to be able to play my senior year.
Yep.
And we talked to him, got his situation through, and then lo and behold, here comes another one.
Yep.
Same story. Just misinformation. I can go to school and be a senior, but I can't play any sports, which made no sense to me. And of course, then we turned that over to our, counselor, our guidance lady that's kind of looking into everything and just make sure, we want to make sure we're doing the right thing. And she looks at me and says, they can't do this on the public side. So we took them in, and great guys became, really great guys, great grades. And now they're both, as far as I know, playing ball. I know one of them is, and I think the other one is too.
Yep.
But it's just those situations that we could fix.
Yeah.
And I use that word in quotes, we could fix
Yeah.
the right way by allowing them to go ahead and hopefully live their dream now when they were told, that was a mess up.
Yep.
You can't do it.
And, before I add on to that, about the state and whatnot, the one thing I want to make clear here is, because I hate this is a pet peeve of mine, is we're not bragging on anything. We're not,
absolutely not.
boasting anything, those things. I hate coaches that are like, that kid's there because of me. I got him there, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yes, we give you the opportunity.
gotta
we,
have
we can schedule these 30 games. We
gotta have
get
the
you
will.
here.
You gotta have
We
the will.
play, we play
Yeah.
all these schools. We'll schedule the big-time schools where you're going to get seen in all those. But at the end of the day, I email coaches on my off day for kids. I text coaches. I call coaches, whatever. At the end of the day, though, there is no magic wand here. all these kids that are going somewhere, I didn't make a basket. I didn't get a rebound. I didn't make an assist.
Right.
I didn't get a steal. I didn't do any of that. They put
And
the talent has
well,
to be
you
there.
also
The point
understand
is.
that's absolutely true, but you also understand they knocked on our door. We didn't
Yep.
go looking for them,
Yeah.
so they came looking for us.
Yep.
And that's what I say, and I get we get beat up for that, and I'm like, what are you?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know this young man. I didn't know that young man or him. They come talking to
Yep.
me. So at the end, no, they took the opportunity to come ask the questions that the adults in the room won't.
Yeah.
I'm not to pick on anything, but that's the truth. Hey, will this work for me? Can I do this?
Yep.
So they had enough desire
Yep.
to want to continue their basketball career, quote unquote,
Yep.
and they knocked on our door to ask that question. We could have said no, we can't help you, but they knocked on the door.
Yep.
And you know what? And when they do that, to me, that's a win because they want in.
Yep.
They want to be part of what's going on if we can give them that opportunity. And 9 times out of 10, when they do that, they buy in big time.
Yep.
I mean, they're good kids, and they help us and do things. And it's just, once again, it's not us. It's them knocking on the door.
Yep.
And we have the opportunity to do what we do because, number one, we are small.
Yep.
Number two, we everything's internal. We keep everything internal. And we just go forward and play the game. And grades, we can help out with that, that kind of thing. But it's all
Yep.
real. It's
And,
real.
And like I said, even with this class too, well, with all the fifth years and the injuries and all those things, you'll never hear me say, I got him that offer. I didn't get him the offer. I gave him the opportunity to play the games.
Absolutely.
He played the games, and at the end of the day, like I said, there is no magic wand. I can't make a coach like you. At the end of the day, you're the one that's got to score the points. You're the one that's got to rebound. You're the one that's got to play defense. If a coach, if the coach doesn't like you, I can't make him like you.
No.
So you got that offer. We gave you the opportunity.
Right.
You walked through the door and made it
Well,
happen.
and you got to take the ball and do it.
Yep.
I mean, let's go. We've made that comment. With 2 or 3 minutes left, let's see who takes that ball.
Yep.
Let's see who comes up and says, "Look,
Yeah.
I want it."
You're a big time player.
Yeah,
Show us.
Absolutely.
Show us you're a big time player.
And you don't know who's watching out there. And then when you do that kind of thing and take over,
Yep.
that's noticeable.
Yeah.
Win or lose, that's noticeable.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back on this whole the 4-year eligibility thing, I think that one thing about Daya about them is they feel a little arbitrary about things that they care about and things they don't to an extent.
Yeah, we all do.
Because, like you said, the 5th year thing is
Yeah.
something they absolutely scoff at.
Yeah.
But then you have. Like for New Jersey, for example, me coming from New Jersey and playing and coaching up there for years, all right, it's all broken up into school size, public and non-public, recruiting, non-recruiting,
gonna say that,
scholarship,
yep.
non-scholarship.
Yep.
But here in Delaware, they're all thrown into one pool. And the whole thing about 5th year is their whole thing, if you ask them, would be it's a competitive advantage. It's a competitive advantage. Okay, but you got schools that are 4,000 kids in their high school for playing in this playoffs versus kids that have 1,000 kids in their high school.
Right.
You don't think that's a competitive advantage? Or what about the kids that, what about the schools that have, are public, but then you have schools that are recruiting and bring kids in that are private,
Absolutely.
and they're all thrown into the same pool. It's one state championship.
Right.
And
Jersey's different.
for
right?
for
I
those
mean,
of you
they have-
for those of you who don't know, for example, New Jersey, they're broken into school size. They're broken into they even break the private schools into A and B, where B is yes you can recruit, but you're not allowed to scholarship. A is full blown you go scholarship.
for it.
It's basically the Wild Wild West in A, but
Right.
that's where all the big the Roseau Catholics those kind of they're all A because it's go get scholarships and stuff. But the point is, and they do play each other. After you get through your bracket, if you win the championship in your
They do come
bracket,
back.
you do end up playing each other up there. Just to, it's still called a championship, but like I said, it's not like you won your state for Group 2 or
It's
whatever.
like
it is.
Henlopen here, and then you go play state tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got you.
So,
Yeah.
but again, it just feels a little arbitrary on things that they consider a competitive advantage, but then look the other way
Right.
on other things.
Right. Well, it's just like game limitation and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. There's, I don't know if you're looking at doing this to go to college and,
Yeah.
and be special. I don't know if you really have a game limitation.
Yeah.
I think in order to play and get better, you got to play off season, on season, summer. You know what I mean? All of that. You've got to get as much time as you can. Now, I'm not saying tear your body up.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying play 6 or 7 games in a day. That's that's kind of crazy. But at the end, you still want that young man to be able, or young lady or whoever, to be able to get out there and do their craft, man.
Yeah.
This is what they do. And the more you do something, the repetitive action is the better you get at it. It's it's life. It's simple.
Yep.
I mean, not to be out of the way, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, we have never, excuse me, the kids that we have here now, once again, I'll say it, we said it the last time, we'll say it again. All we're trying to do is give them a chance. We're not doing anything different. We're just giving them that extra opportunity to go get what they want.
Yep.
And it's what they want, not what you want, not what I want.
Nope.
Go get what they want. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's.
I tell them all the time. I'm like, listen, I've been there already. I've played college ball. I got my degree. I paid a lot less than most people pay for their degree based on my college stuff, basketball wise, and what I got for scholarship my first 2 years. And I was like, I've already done it. I live, not live my life because I got a lot of life left, hopefully. But you know what I mean.
Right.
I've lived that experience already. It's not me anymore. It's you. It's about you and what you want to do with your opportunity, what you want to turn your life into and head your life in that direction.
And it's not always it's not always fun.
No.
Sometimes it is work. I mean, that's what it is.
I don't know if I feel that way.
I
don't know if I feel that way.
I think you got to get on the court and put that time in, just like going to work.
I'll tell you that I think the truly great players, and I wasn't a great player, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that.
No,
but the truly
don't say that.
great players, and myself included, like when I was working, like when I went to when I went to New Jersey for that at the prep school, I was all in. Like our school started at 7, I was there at 5:30 getting 100 to 500 shots
That's
in.
work.
But it never felt like work. No. It just never felt like work to me. It never felt like work. I went in every day, and you got to keep working. Like I tell everybody, the love thing. Or do you like this thing, or you just kind of do you love this thing, or do you kind of just like it? And like you got to love the process more than you're worried about the outcome. Like love the process, and everything will take care of itself. Sometimes the outcome's not going to be what you want. We went 12-12 this year. That wasn't the outcome we wanted.
Right.
But you got to love the process. And again, at the end of the day, they're all going to college. So again,
absolutely.
That's the most important thing. But regardless, you got to love the process. You got to be able to come back. As a coach, disappointed with 12-12. So at the same time, I have to be willing to come back every day and practice and be like, let's get better today. What can we work on?
And I think once again, you've got to look at what we say, who we're playing. Yeah. I mean, who we're playing. The guys have got to look at that.
Yep.
Everybody's got to understand that we're playing quality teams. So that's one more thing. Are you ready to keep that grind up against them quality teams? Or if one night you have no point, 13 or 14, next night you come back with 25, but you're going to have them down nights, and that's why we schedule 20, 30 games a year, because you're going to have the ups and downs.
You just shake it off. And we had
absolutely.
We had a player this year. That happened here at home. We had a back-to-back, a rare back-to-back at home. He had like 6 or 7. He actually texted me that night and was like, I struggled. I got to do better. And I remember just texting him, that's fine. The beautiful thing is, in 2 days we got another one. You're going to do great.
Are you going to show up tonight?
Yeah. And then he goes out there and drops 30 in the win. So regardless, those things happen. But again, like it's all about the perception of it. Do you really love the thing, even when it's not working to your advantage? It's not quite going the way you want. Do you love it enough to keep going to it?
You got to get better.
Yeah. Do you love it? Are you committed to it? Committed to the process. The outcome will be the outcome. But are you still going to be committed to the process? Because there's going to be ups and downs in college too, like we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
This is great prep. For college.
To move on.
Yep. But we're getting waved, so we'll go ahead and take our final break of the podcast, and we'll be right back with the final section. Welcome back to the #Run302 podcast. We are on episode 6, season 1, episode 6. We're calling this the 5th year, so we're kind of wrapping up. And maybe the most important part of this episode is us talking about the differences, between 5th year and post grad. That's the other thing a lot of people are going to hear a lot of. We are not a post grad program. We do play post grad schools because they're good competition.
The level.
Yeah, the level is really high, but there's a huge difference between 5th year and post grad. And the most important thing is, if you're going to do this, if you're a senior and you want to do a 5th year with us, the most important thing is you need to be in here and transfer and act now.
Yeah,
reach out to us, send us your transcripts, make sure everything's good with college and NCAA, all your credits, your first 4 years have been filled, and get on it, and need to be here by the first week of April, I would say.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the like you say, we don't want to. Let's be honest about it. You can't walk.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yep.
You can't graduate. You need to transfer here so you can do that 5th year.
Yep.
And it is. I hate to say it's that simple, but it kind of is. But it's also that difficult for you to do.
Yeah. It's a big decision.
It's hard to exactly.
It's a big decision on you. You know,
Exactly.
two, I mean, I'm sure your parents love you,
Yeah.
but it's an extra year of high school. They're going to have to support you and, probably help you out with gas, food, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You're going to
Well,
be living at home again another
actually,
year.
it's real. I mean,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to redo that. And like you said, we want to see and make sure all your transcripts are right, everything's
Yep.
good, and we want to do it right.
Yeah,
And in order to do it
exactly.
right, we need to see now and
Yep.
kind of project forward to where we're at.
And you will get the exact same high school state diploma
Oh, yeah.
that you would have gotten anywhere else. I mean,
Absolutely.
because we've heard all of it. We've heard
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Our fifth year diploma is not real. We've heard it's a GED.
Yeah, you can't
We've heard it
play
all. It's the
basketball with it.
same.
It's
the
come
same
on.
exact. It's the same exact diploma you're going to get. It's just you're coming here for another year, and we'll give you the diploma.
And even, yeah, guess what? It even works if you're not an athlete.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
amazing how it works at Brigham Young.
Yep.
How it works at all these other colleges
Yep.
out there.
Exactly.
It's amazing how it's such a dual thing. I guess
Yeah.
the rest of them aren't. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So the other thing you're gonna hear a lot is post grad. Like we've heard people like describe us as post grads. I mean, anytime we get coverage in the area, I'm thankful for it. Like we
Right,
had
right.
a local 302 sports place, follow us and do a little write up on us, and even he, had he reached out a little bit and got a little bit more information because he put us in the article as a post grad school, and we're not, because post grad is you've graduated, you've gotten your state diploma from whatever state you're graduating
Right.
from, and now you're just playing other schools. That's all you're doing. Like you're literally going for basketball, lifting, all that kind of stuff. You're not going to school at all because once you've graduated, we can't help your GPA because
Right.
you've graduated.
It's
You've
done.
already
It's
got your
over.
diploma.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you can do. So that's the difference. And obviously being a post grad, they can scrimmage like JUCOs and things like that. But we're not really looking for that either.
Right, we
Our
don't
whole
want
thing
that.
is we're trying to help you with your GPA.
Right.
If you need it. Obviously, again though, your first 4 years is your core. We can't help you with that.
And
But-
we've also spoke earlier about if God forbid you got hurt in your junior year, your senior
Yep.
year. I mean, we're here to help you. I mean, we're not just going to wash our hands. We want to try to make it right and
Yeah.
get your life back on schedule to where you want it to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, it's the biggest thing. And like you always say, the elephant in the room is that you just can't
Can't walk.
walk.
And people and I like I said, I kind of get it, because it's not a thing that's normal in Delaware, but at the same time, we've already done it. Like you say, like we say all the time, look at where we've been. We've already done it. We've got a kid playing Division II NCAA basketball, cleared the clearinghouse that did the fifth year.
Right.
We got a kid that's on the team now coming away with a second Division II offer just now.
Absolutely.
So it's like I said, it's not normal, but I would say like this: it's not normal, but the kids who are coming here are trying not to be normal also. If
Oh,
that makes
absolutely. They're
sense.
try to be special.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's the key, especially the athletes, because that's
Yep.
the only ones that
Are
do
doing
the
the
extra.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they see that extra work in front of them. Oh, I said work. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not work. They see the extra love of the game.
Yep.
So, but they're going to have to sweat. They're going to have to get through it.
Yep.
And we said earlier, we just want to make sure they're healthy. Everything's good to go, and then let's go.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And like we said, the post grad whole thing, and we do play post grad schools. I would say we had 8 or 9 post grad schools on the schedule this year, and that's because again, they're good competition.
We want to.
Yeah, they're good competition. I mean, they're all they should all be freshmen in college, and they're scrimmaging JUCOs, and they're scrimmaging other high level competition and those things, and it's a good competition. And all those guys at those post grad programs will be playing in college. So why wouldn't we go play them if we can? But when we're a post grad school, then you can only play
it just
other
changes
post grads.
everything.
It changes all that
everything.
stuff.
Yeah, the whole dynamic changed.
Yep, exactly.
And that's why when they did get posted, we got phone calls.
Yep.
Wait a minute, we didn't know. No, we're not.
Yeah.
Then of course you got to explain yourself.
Misrepresentation.
Yeah, and then you
but
gotta explain
again,
it all.
it can all be solved with simple communication.
Oh,
all of
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. Any questions at all, we can answer. And like you just said earlier, you don't have to just look behind us.
Yep.
Look, see what we've done and the trail we've left.
Yep.
And we're just trying to do the right thing. That's
Yep.
all. That's
all we're trying to do. And like I said, just like you said, I mean, all these kids, we had 3 kids on the team already that, tore their ACLs, and if it wasn't for what we do, they wouldn't be anywhere.
It's horrible, horrible thought.
We're locking everything up. They all have little things they have to do. Like I said, they have tore their campus, finish their application process,
Right,
whatever.
right.
But they're all on the path to play in college basketball and have that opportunity to continue their education and their
And that
athletics.
path would not have been there.
Yep, exactly. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, this was season 1, episode 6, 5th year. Next episode, we're going to be episode 7, and it's going to be college. So one thing that's we'll give you a little sneak peek here real quick, and you know, I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. I hear AAU coaches, high school coaches, uncles, dads, you know, whatever is, oh, my son's too good to play at that level. My son's too good for this. He should be doing this. He should be going here, all that stuff. He's not. Let me tell you something. He's just not. All right. The truth is, there's every level of basketball. My JUCO team, Division II JUCO, had 1,500-point scores on it. You know, Brian Cameron, who played right here at Wesley College, Division III, over the weekend is overseas. He's an overseas professional. He just had 48 points and 9 rebounds in a game overseas, a professional game. So I assure you, every level, JUCO, NAIA, USCAA, and obviously everyone wants to do NCAA, Division III, whatever it is, there's players at every level that will give you, your uncle, your aunt, whoever, they will give them the business at every level. So you're blessed.
And we'll
wherever.
let it go, but we just saw it in the
Yeah.
in the tournament. Look at the D2 players.
All the D2 players that went up, yeah,
That
and
went up.
and the experience is there at all the levels. You know, I bring up Wesley College a lot because I know the coach, and we sent a kid to Wesley
Right.
before. But you know, they've practiced. You know, they practiced at the Portland Trailblazers facility when he was at Wesley. Now he's a head coach down in Mississippi. They just practice at Duke's facility.
Way cool.
You know,
Way
like
cool.
you're telling me
Experience, man.
that's not a memory that these
Yeah,
kids are going to remember for the
absolutely.
rest of your life. Like every level has their advantages. Every level is going to
Yeah.
have great memories. Every level is going to
Oh,
create
yeah.
great moments, and you're going to meet great people. So don't miss out. So next week we'll explain all the differences between all the levels. We'll see you then.